Hi guys, so yeah, I can't really believe what's happened, to be honest. I've come to London. It seems that all my videos at the moment aren't particularly upbeat and they seem quite doom and gloom and all the rest of it, but I swear to God, I am not normally this downbeat, I guess. But unfortunately, probably the worst possible thing that could happen to a videographer has happened to me, unfortunately. So yeah, basically I was down in London doing an event last week, and I was doing some work there. So I pulled up at this secure car park near Leicester Square, and I took my rucksack, which had like my laptop and some editing stuff in. I took that over to the venue, had a look around the venue briefly, then went back to my car to go and get all the rest of my kit. And as I was on the way back to my car, I got a notification on my phone, and it's obviously with the Mercedes app, it sort of pings whenever the alarm goes off, or you haven't locked the car or whatever. And I had locked it, by the way, just bear that in mind for this story. But I got a notification to say that there was basically motion in my car, and as soon as that had happened, I knew obviously someone had broken into the car, because that never happens. So I then literally sprinted across Leicester Square, just the other side, to the car park. And when I got there, it was too late, and I saw that my back window in my car had been smashed, and all of my camera gear that was in my boot had been taken. And the thing is, I obviously had the boot shut, didn't touch the boot, didn't open the boot at all, had the parcel shelf across, so no one could even see that there was any kit in there or anything. And unfortunately, it was their lucky day and my unlucky day, really. But yeah, it is what it is. I've had people messaging me and speculating that potentially someone, within our circles or industry knew about it and had done it. But no, I mean, to be honest, no one knew where I was parking at all. Literally, I'd only sorted it like that afternoon, just myself. And not really many people knew I was doing work at this event. So, I mean, it was just, potluck for me, really. Really sucks. I mean, it's a completely secure car park and everything. It was the last place you'd ever suspect that you were going to get robbed, basically, but unfortunately. But what I actually decided to do was, obviously when it happened, I thought, well, I might as well do a bit of vlogging, might as well capture some of this and share. I mean, to share obviously the story of what happened, but primarily because I think I heard about this happening to some people, like one or two people ever, basically, that I've ever known. And it's something you don't think about. Like, you just park up, obviously you lock your door, you make sure that everything's secure, but, and everyone will always try to never leave kit anywhere, because it's just too tempting for people. But the fact that no one knew my kit was in there, and I literally left it for no more than sort of 10-15 minutes while I literally just popped in. I generally didn't think about it, but if there's one thing that anyone could take from this is just don't leave any kit, even just for 5 minutes. It's kind of sucks. But anyway, while I was there, I thought, let's get some vlogging in, and yeah, so I managed to document some bits and pieces. But yeah, basically, I've spoken to the insurance company and everything, and spoken to various people, and my brother works sort of within sort of cars and insurance and stuff, so I had a good chat with him about what to do. But basically, I'm just going to head somewhere just outside of London where they can do like a temporary fix, which should then get me home at least, which is another 3-hour drive. Bear in mind, it's already 10 o'clock at night. And then I'll have to sort with the insurance company tomorrow to get the actual glass fixed and everything else. But just please, anyone watching, just learn from my mistakes. Just don't leave any kit in your car for even 5 minutes. It's not worth it. Alright, so now I literally just brought it to the outskirts of London somewhere, my car, and my brother gave me a number of this guy who can sort of repair the window, at least temporary repair, and then at least I can drive home, and then I can get auto glass, whatever, to sort it. But Yeah, basically, that's the plan at the moment, so he's sorting that. Yeah, so I'll get that sorted and then we can head home. God, this has just been a nightmare, hasn't it? And it generally did feel like a nightmare, can't lie. It was just the worst feeling ever when my phone pinged, and then it obviously was even worse when I got to the car and saw, and obviously they've got CCTV, so I've reported it to the police. I reported it to the actual company that had the car park, so because I need the footage and all the rest of it for insurance. And that comes on to the next part, is obviously insuring gear. We all, I hope everyone insures their gear, and I think again from this you have to insure your gear because you just never know. But I have got insurance. I contacted them again straight away and let them know about what happened, and they were really helpful, to be honest. They were supportive and the rest of it, and told me what I needed to do in terms of providing them with the right info. So I did. So they've got all of that, and I'm just waiting for a response from them. So I think every videographer or whatever, or even equestrian, it's the same with tack. It happens, doesn't it? Saddles and stuff. So just check your insurance policies. Just go through the policy, make sure it says that it covers for theft and not obviously for the value of whatever you need insured. Just double check it all, to be honest, please, because it's really not worth it. Like I said, hopefully it'll all be good for me. I've heard some horror stories about insurance companies being difficult and not paying out, so we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on it. At the end of the day, I can't do anything about it, so we've just got to move on, unfortunately. The police will obviously try and do their job and, maybe catch them, but at the end of the day, I doubt it. And either way, the kit will have been sold and gone. So in order for me to do my job, I've obviously had to go out and buy pretty much all new kit, because literally all my gear, every last piece, they pretty much took, bar a few things that I had here. And actually my DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which for some reason they obviously didn't spot and didn't take it. So anyway, great, I could still do this. But I obviously had to go and get some more gear pretty swiftly because I've got jobs literally in the next couple of days. Unfortunately, I missed Thorsby horse trials, which I was supposed to be working at all week, and I was really looking forward to that. So unfortunately, I missed that. But let's go on to the kit that I decided to get. And obviously, fingers crossed, I'll be claiming back from the insurance company, which will cover this. But I've had to basically fork out for new kit because I need to work. And obviously, if I don't work, So I'm going to go through a bit of the pieces of kit which I've decided to take on. So first of all, I had the choice of whether to go to Sony or whether to stick with Canon. And I did spend a bit of time actually thinking about it over the last couple of days and thinking, what do I do? Because some of the Sony stuff, particularly the colour profiles and stuff, are stunning. So I did have a bit of a think about it, but I decided to actually stick with Canon, just for now at least. And I've gone for the Canon R5 Mark II, as you can see here. Primary reason I went for the Canon R5 instead of the R5C, which obviously many of you would have known that was like my go-to camera, the R5C before, and I'm going to really miss it, and it sucks that I'm never going to see that again. But the R5 Mark II has a lot of features actually that are better than the R5C. So for example, you can do HD up to 200 frames, which is useful in some respects. That definitely will come in useful when you do some super slow motion and stuff like that, which would be quite cool to try out. They fixed the overheating issue, which originally had in the R5. So there's now obviously a small fan with a vent basically, which just keeps air flowing. There's a few other features that the R5 has, the R5 Mark II has over the original R5. So obviously a little bit more expensive than the R5, but I managed to get a decent deal on it. So yeah, that is the camera that I went for. So then to go with the camera, obviously I have to have some lenses. And the difficult thing is, obviously I had literally all my lenses in the back of my car, even the ones that I don't normally use and I don't normally take them to events. But for some reason, I thought I'd take them in case I need them. Really stupid. Honestly, I'm going to be kicking myself for weeks, to be honest. But anyway, I needed a few lenses. And before, obviously, I had my EF 70 to 200, which is what I use quite a lot. Then I had the RF 2470, and then obviously had the EF 300. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to get all of that straight away because it's all expensive gear. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to get the RF 2470 just yet, and I haven't been able to get the EF 300. But what I have done is I've decided to go for the RF 70-200 because, again, I looked into things. There is actually a new version of this which is all internal. So you see how obviously this, you know, comes in and out basically as you zoom. The new version, which is the RF 70-200Z, that basically is all internal, and that's really the one I wanted, but it is a bit pricey at the moment. So I've had to, I mean, don't get me wrong, the image quality and everything is going to be as good, you know, if not better in some occasions with this, but just having it all contained in one, I prefer it personally, but I know that loads of people, you know, that shoot big events and everything, literally just they're using this and they do an awesome job. So I'm looking forward to using it. I've never actually used one of these before. Obviously I see it a lot, and a lot of videographers, particularly equestrian videographers, use it. So that's pretty much going to be my go-to. And I am looking forward to using it. It's just a shame that it's had to come to this for me to get one. But anyway, and then instead of getting the 24-70, I've actually decided to go for a couple of cheap lenses, which I actually bought these like years ago when I first got my R5C, when I couldn't afford a 24-70, and I had some jobs coming up that I knew I needed a bit more focal range. I actually ended up going for this pancake lens, which is the 16mm f2.8, and I've used it. I use it still. Well, I did use it still, and it's a brilliant little lens. It's really good for getting really cool wide angles, stuff like that. So I decided to go for that again, just to get those really nice wide angle shots without having to obviously fork out for a more expensive zoom lens. And then I've also gone for the macro 35 1.8, which I stand by is an absolute brilliant lens for the money. I mean, this is, I can't remember how much this was now, but I think it was like £400, and it's incredible. Like, the image quality is brilliant. Obviously, you get the most incredible sort of blurred effect when you're shooting things. You can get some really nice macro details on things. So, for example, when we're shooting any products like saddles or cars, which actually I'll explain a bit, but we're going to be shooting some cars next week, which is why actually I decided to get these, was because when I'm shooting vehicles, for example, I want to make sure I got a nice wide angle shots of them, get some really nice detail shots of them. So these two lenses basically tick all the boxes, in conjunction with then my 70-200 to get any other shots that I want. Those three lenses basically are going to tick all the boxes I need for now. Obviously my 300, I'm really gutted that I'm not going to see again. And it does mean that obviously I'm going to have to look at getting another 300 hopefully soon. But there's a few, obviously I have to just wait and see what the verdict is with the insurance. For example, obviously hopefully when they pay out, I can then I can get the rest of the gear that I need. But to be honest, this stuff actually, this is my go-to stuff anyway. This is what I use for 98% of the jobs I do. And then the other sort of 2 or 3% is taken up by the 300 lens or the 24-70, depending on what I'm doing. But also these are great for interviews and stuff as well. But alongside that, I've actually decided another priority is a drone, and they took both my drones. So obviously I had the Mini 3 Pro, and then we had the Maverick 3, and incredible drones, and I'm gutted again that I've had to replace them, but it does mean I've gone for the Mini 4 Pro, which I actually wanted to get for a while. I've just never had a real need to, because obviously the Mini 3 has been so good for any of those situations that I've never really had a need for it. But again, I'm looking forward to using it, and it's going to be a great little drone. But again, just gutted that I've had to do it, but it is what it is. It's happened, it's got to move on. But anyway, that's all the gear basically. So between, you know, I will be getting another camera soon, hopefully. Again, if the insurance company could pay out swiftly, then hopefully in the next few weeks, but we'll see. But I'm going to get another one. Not too sure what the other camera I'm going to get is yet, whether I get another R5 Mark II, or whether I get an R5, or whether I get an R5C, or whether I get a C80 or a C70. There's a lot of choice, but at the moment, I'm just focusing on the jobs I've got, basically, and making sure I can deliver the best possible results for them. So that's why I've gone for these. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this video. I'm sorry it's obviously a bit boring, but I haven't had an awful lot of time over the last few days to do anything, and I just thought it'd be quite interesting to show you guys a bit about, this is sort of the kit that I would, if I was starting out, which, you know, essentially I'm having to start from scratch a little bit. This is the kit I would get. You know, I'd get a good full frame camera, and then I would get the 70-200 lens. That would probably be my first two things, and then I'd go in and get a couple of primes that I think would suit, you know, the jobs I'm doing. And eventually I'm then going to get the 24-70 again, because it's a brilliant versatile lens, but potentially looking at maybe getting the 15-30 as well. That's quite interesting. So there's various lenses that I'll be looking at in the coming weeks, but this is going to basically cover all the jobs I need. And then I've got a couple of other cameras obviously lying around that I can use if I'm doing interviews and stuff. Yeah, it's been a tough few days, I can't lie. It's been really up and down just in terms of emotions and everything. And the one thing I did want to say is that obviously I just put on social media basically the situation that happened, and I can't tell you the number of people that messaged me with support and even offering that I can borrow their kit in the meantime and everything. And it was actually, again, like, it was incredible having that support, and I never really expected that at all. And I just can't say thank you enough to everyone who's been there for me over the last few days, because it is tough, and I wouldn't wish obviously this to happen to anyone. And it's just great to know that in our sort of equestrian videography community, we all are really quite tight, and we all get on really well, and everyone just wants to have a good time, enjoy what they do, and that's the main thing. And I think we all just need to enjoy life, enjoy our jobs and everything else. So that's it from today, but thanks so much guys for watching, and sorry it's been a bit boring and dull, but if there's one thing you guys can take from it, just don't leave any kit anywhere. Just don't. It's not worth it. Even if the insurance does pay out, the aggro and everything I've gone through over the last sort of 3-4 days, it's just, honestly, it's a pain in the arse. So yeah, just don't leave any kit anywhere. You know, even if you're gone for 5-10 minutes, just take it with you, you know, or try and manage it, you know, whether you get someone to help you take stuff or whatever. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.